Joe Bartolozzi! I really like you. If only there was a tier list of some sorts to express my love. I know! Today we are going to be doing a Joe Bartolozzi tier list. All things Joe Bartolozzi will be covered in this video and will be ranked from S tier down to D tier. Alright, first up on the tier list, we're obviously supposed to start with Joe Bartolozzi himself. Joe Bartolozzi has gotten me through so much hard times when I have felt affliction and pain in my life. Joe Bartolozzi has been there every time with his hilarious TikToks to lift me up out of my pit of despair and bring me back to serenity. No other TikToker can compare to the wit, energy, strength, and beauty of Joe Bartolozzi. And for that reason, he's going to be our first contestant at the S tier. Our next contestant will be Joe Bartolozzi. What I love about Joe Bartolozzi is that he's not trying too hard. He's not trying too hard to fit in to a niche or a clique. He just does his own thing. He rides his own wave. And I really do appreciate about him. S tier. Alright, so for a third one, we got Joe Bartolozzi. Contrary to popular opinion, I am not really that big of a fan of Joe Bartolozzi. I feel like sometimes he's just trying too hard. Joe Bartolozzi, on the other hand, brings a light to my day, got me out of so much trouble. But Joe Bartolozzi isn't like Joe Bartolozzi or Joe Bartolozzi. He's just Joe Bartolozzi. And I just don't see anywhere for him left on the S tier. He would have to go in the B tier. Next up is Joe Bartolozzi. I don't want to go into it. I can't go into it. There's a whole history here, and I can't begin to express the level of disdain and hatred I hold for this person. It's unfortunate. He's gonna have to go at the very bottom. Next up is Joe Bartolozzi, and Joe Bartolozzi, well, let me tell you, he's a character. Compared to Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi, a little bit more similar to Joe Bartolozzi and kind of has some similarities with Joe Bartolozzi, but he's a little bit different than Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi. Some do confuse him with Joe Bartolozzi. He would have to go in D tier. Next contestant is the man himself. He's a controversial figure. I had to. I can't just have Joe Bartolozzi and Joe Bartolozzi without Joe Bartolozzi. Because if I'm just going to include Joe Bartolozzi and 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 Joe Bartolozzi, the thing about Joe Bartolozzi is that Joe Bartolozzi isn't Joe Bartolozzi. Joe Bartolozzi, 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 and when it all comes crashing down, and it feels like it'll never end, Joe Bartolozzi comes out of the sky in a beam of light. He's my hero, and I am forever indebted to him. Joe Bartolozzi!